you ever wondered how a simple cattle market from the 1840s transformed into the world's most glamorous private party? This is the Seville April Fair, a temporary city where the ground is covered in volcanic sand and the dresses actually dictate global fashion trends. It's a place of strict social codes, secret midnight fish dinners, and a 50-meter high gate that is built and demolished every single year. But how do you get inside those private tents? And what actually is the Hell Street everyone keeps talking about? Let's dive into the history, the highlights, and the local secrets of the greatest show on earth. The Feria de Abril takes place in Seville, the capital of the sun-drenched Andalusian region of Spain. It is held in the Ria de la Feria in the Los Remedios neighborhood, a massive, purpose-built venue that is about a 30-minute walk from the city center. This week-long spectacle traditionally begins exactly 2 clear weeks after the Easter Sunday. The Feria has been running for more than 170 years since 1847, and it is a festival of staggering scale, attracting approximately 5 million visitors to a temporary city filled with over 1,000 individual tents. Entry to the fairgrounds is free, but here's the catch. While the public tents are open to all, most of the private ones require a personal invitation to enter. To understand the soul of the fair, we have to travel back to 1847. Seville was a dying beauty, a former global giant that once held the monopoly of the New World trade, now struggling in a deep economic slump. The city was a compact walled maze of roughly 100,000 people, frequently plagued by river floods and a desperate need for modernization. The city was cramped, still trapped behind its medieval walls and desperately searching for its next act. And here enters our 2 unlikely founders, Narciso Bonaplata and José María de Ibarra. One was Catalan and the other was Basque. Neither was actually from Seville. In 1846, they petitioned Queen Isabella II for a simple 3-day livestock market to help the local farmers trade cattle and sheep. At the time, Spain was politically fragile, and local leaders hoped that this economic stimulus package would foster a public order and revive the surrounding countryside. The first fair in 1847 was purely about business, but in Seville, business is always better with a drink. These first casetas were just basic stalls for signing contracts and hiding from the sun. By 1848, the city realized that if thousands of farmers were already there in town to buy and sell cattle, they would naturally want to see the bravest cattle perform. The fair provided the crowd, and the bull ring provided entertainment. By the 1850s, the Feria de Abril bullfighting season became the most important date on the Spanish calendar. And in that same second year, the Queen herself visited, and the first social tents appeared. What started as a way to keep clients happy with wine and shade quickly turned into a high society gala. By the 1860s, the singing was so loud that the cows became a distraction, eventually being moved to a separate location. This era also birthed the iconic Traje de Flamenca, which directly translates as the costume of flamenco. It started as a humble work apron for peasant women, but high society ladies soon noticed how the ruffles accentuated the figure, and they loved the design, turning workwear into high fashion. The fair went viral before the internet existed. In 1929, Seville hosted the Ibero-American Exposition, using the fair as its cultural centerpiece. This was the fair's international debut, where the sevillana image we know today, the horses, the polka dots, and the drama became the global face of Spain. However, history intervened. The fair was suspended for 3 years during the Spanish Civil War between 1937 and 1939. It returned in the 1940s, and in 1949, the city began the beloved tradition of building a massive, unique main gate, or the Portada, every single year. But the true jet-set era arrived in 1966. When Princess of Monaco and American actress Grace Kelly showed up in the traditional dress, this Andalusian outfit and the fair became a global symbol of glamour. It wasn't just a local party anymore. This regional Spanish tradition was transformed into a world-class social and media event. In 1973, for its 125th anniversary, it became so massive that it had to move to its current location in Los Remedios, tripling in size to over 1,000 casetas we see today. And by 1980, it was officially declared a fiesta of international tourist interest. But resilience remained key. In 1990, an outbreak of African horse sickness meant that for the first time, no horses were allowed on the grounds, leaving the streets eerily quiet. Decades later, the 2020 pandemic forced the fair to move to balconies and Zoom calls for the first time in 80 years. Today, when the alumbrado lights up the night, you aren't just looking at the festival. You're looking at over 170 years of resilience, a temporary city that proves Seville knows how to turn a humble cattle market into the greatest show on earth. Now that you've seen the fair's humble roots as a cattle market, let's step into the modern spectacle. For 1 week, Seville operates on its own clock, transforming into an ephemeral city where the show is the local culture itself. The fair officially begins at midnight with alumbrado, a word meaning the lighting. Thousands gather as the mayor pushes a button, sending a wave of gold light from a 15-meter-high Portada down the 15 streets of the fairground. Every year, this massive gate is designed to commemorate a different monument and is demolished as soon as the party ends. For 2026, over 200,000 special LED bulbs will illuminate the site, with the Portada alone holding nearly 30,000 to guide the 5 million visitors expected throughout the week. But here's the local secret. Before the lights go on, the real opening is La Noche del Pescaito. Inside the private casetas, members gather for a massive banquet of fried fish, anchovies, squid, and hake delivered fresh from the coast. It's a members-only gala of suits and cocktail dresses. Wearing a flamenco dress here is considered a major fashion crime. Daily from noon until 8 p.m., the fairground belongs to the Paseo de Caballos. This isn't just a parade, it's a social ritual where the owners display their finest Andalusian horses and the polished carriages on yellow albero sand, the same volcanic earth used in bull rings because it absorbs moisture. Look for the carriages with the colorful wool pom-poms, a high-status nod to the fair's agricultural roots. The air is filled with the jingle of bells as the horses often perform subtle dancing steps for the crowd. You will see the city's strict social codes in the fashion. Women wear the Traje de Flamenca, the colorful dresses with frills and ruffles that you always see in the pictures of the Feria. Men riding horses wear the Traje de Corto, with high-waisted pants and silver dangling ornaments called the Aquernist. Every evening at 6:30, the action shifts to the Plaza de la Maestranza, where bullfighting is viewed not as a game, but as a somber ancient tragedy. In 2026, this tradition remains a central, though debated part of the Feria de Abril. Over 2 hours, 3 matadors face 6 bulls in a highly choreographed ritual of life and death. It is a quiet, intense atmosphere where the city gathers to witness a performance of bravery and skills that has remained largely unchanged for centuries. As night falls, the horses leave and the casetas ignite. While 90% of the tents are private living rooms for family, public casetas are open to everyone, offering a high-energy party atmosphere where you can learn the steps just by joining the crowd. This is also where you'll see las sevillanas, a folk dance in 4 parts that tells the story of courtship, the encounter, the seduction, the argument, and the reconciliation. The footwork creates a rhythmic resonance on the hollow wooden floors as the dancers drink and celebrate simultaneously. The caseta is also a place where you gather around the table to share. You'll always find a pitcher of rebujito, a refreshing mix of dry sherry and lime soda, paired with platters of hand-carved Iberian ham and crispy fried fish. It's more than just a meal, it's the fuel for the long day of dancing. Just beyond the traditional tents lies Calle del Infierno, literally Hell's Road. It earns its name from the glorious chaos of hundreds of attractions and the roar of the crowds. Entrance to the grounds is free, allowing anyone to wander through this massive temporary city of lights. From the smell of fresh churros to the sound of music from every corner, it's a high-energy playground that stays alive long after the sun goes down. Before heading home, make sure to eat the buñuelos with chocolate. Traditionally sold by the Romani ladies at the edges of the fair, these fried dough balls are the official late-night snack. The marathon ends at midnight the following Saturday with a massive firework display over the Guadalquivir River. Now that you've seen the spectacles, let's look at how you can navigate the fair smoothly to make the most of your visit. If you come with a car, parking in the area can be quite challenging. While there are paid lots, they tend to be filled up very quickly or require pre-booking. A great alternative is taking the Metro Line 1 to Blas Infante or enjoy a walk from the city center to soak in the atmosphere. There are also special buses that take you directly to the fairground from different parts of Seville. For the daytime, A more casual look works well, though you'll still see plenty of glamorous flamenco-style dresses. If you don't have one, smart casual wear in light materials is perfect for handling the Seville heat. As the night falls, the vibe shifts towards formal suits and ties, elegant cocktail wear, or traditional dresses. If you choose to wear a flower, the traditional placement is right at the center on top of your head like a crown, though in recent years, styles like flower crowns have also become popular. Most public casetas have toilets at the back, but they are usually limited. It may also be a good idea to bring your own toilet paper and hand sanitizers, as supplies like hand soap may not always be restocked. Remember that the private casetas are always reserved only for socios, or the members and their guests. However, the city publishes a list of public casetas every year, including the Caseta de Sevilla, which is specifically for visitors. For even more details, you can find an interactive map and a full April Fair guide on the Visita Sevilla website. While there isn't a rigid schedule, lunch at the fair is usually enjoyed pretty late, around 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, with dinner starting near 9 or 10 p.m. You'll still find casetas offering Andalusian tapas and refreshing rebujito throughout the entire day. In Seville, schools are off all week, and many local businesses also close at 2 p.m. to join the festivities. If you prefer a calmer, more authentic feel, try visiting between Tuesday and Thursday. The weekend brings in high-energy crowds from across the country and also abroad, so it will be very busy. During the Feria in 2026, there will also be quiet hours in Calle del Infierno for people with hearing sensitivity. By planning ahead and following these local rhythms, you'll be ready to dive straight into the heart of the Andalusian culture. For international travelers, the local language is Spanish and the currency is euro. Expect mild and pleasant Andalusian spring weather with daytime averages of around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius and cooler nights with average lows around 11 degrees Celsius. It is not uncommon for temperatures to surge up to 30 degrees in the day, and most of the fairground will be without shade, so remember to wear sun protection. Now that you've explored the history, the style, and the local secrets, you've seen how Seville turns a humble cattle market into the greatest show on earth. We hope this guide brought a little bit of Andalusian sunshine to your screen. In a world of scattered information, we're here to tidy up the stories worth knowing. Subscribe to join the journey as we build a definitive archive of the world's most incredible spectacles. We will see you in the next deep dive.